I have got some ghost stories for you.
I come home from the gym and the chairs are all stacked upside down, like a very intricate stack.
There was a werewolf on our porch swing holding one of our kittens.
The pen was all busted open and there is blood everywhere.
There's like somebody standing in the middle of the bed with their finger pushing straight up on the canopy, like a tent pole. But there's nothing there. And I laid in bed like a little kid. I pulled the covers up over my eyes.
This little boy told paranormal investigators, apparently my grandfather came back from the dead to harass a toddler.
So that is my ghost story.
Hi, and welcome to Haunted AF, the podcast of real ghost stories told by real people. We are your hosts. I'm Julie Fisk.
And I'm Rebekah Black.
Coming up, we have got more creepy noises that were picked up on a sleep app. Is that what it is? Or are they snoring apps?
Oh, it could be a snoring app.
Yeah, because I know we got one a while back from Marco, but this is a little different.
Okay.
We also have dream sharing stories because we asked about them. We're like, hey, if you guys have any of these, and you guys delivered in a big way. So we're going to share some of those coming up.
Can't wait. But first, we need to thank and say hello to our new patrons, Samantha Paz, Mary Hedges, Mary Hodges.
There we go.
Erica Diaz, who we forgot to mention last week. Very sorry because we were in the middle of our Marlboro burglar meltdown.
We literally skipped her because we were so busy being idiots.
Also, big love to Diana P, who says, I became a listener in December and I binged everything. You are my podcast to listen to when I'm working late or when I'm cleaning. Funny enough, your podcast calms my nerves and anxiety. Go figure.
That's weird.
I'm impressed by that.
Glad we can help.
Yeah. Also, big love to Carrie Maroney, who became an annual patron. Thank you. Thank you. Remember that we are posting our Patreon pre-games every single week. We're also posting mini-sodes between the seasons. So if you've binged everything, you want more, there is plenty of exclusive stuff on patreon.com/hauntedaf.
Also, so this is just in the planning phases, but just wanted to let everybody know if you wanted to put this on your calendars. It looks like Haunted AF, we're going to go on the road.
It's exciting.
Not like we're not going on tour.
I mean, we're going down and around the corner, which is just as good.
Yeah, I wish we were going on tour. One of these days, if somebody will pay for it, we'll go on tour.
Heck yeah.
But we've been invited to the Spooky Spectacle, which is in Granbury. It's going to be September 24th and 25th. And we have never done a festival or anything like this before. So yeah, they used to do this paranormal thing in Granbury every year. They stopped, of course, during COVID, but they're bringing it back this year and changed the name. Spooky Spectacle. So if you want to stay on top of that, that's going to be September 24th and 25th. And their website is spookyspectacle.com. So if you're in Texas or you're nearby, you want to come by.
Come see us.
Yeah, get a selfie together. Tell us your ghost story in person. I think we should do some recordings there.
Absolutely.
So again, that's spookyspectacle.com. So let's go ahead and get into the stories. This is really cool. We've got a lot of listeners in South Africa right now, which
awesome.
I think is amazing. So this is from Karen.
Hey guys, I'm Karen from Cape Town. So last year I broke up with my boyfriend and moved out and accidentally moved into a haunted house. So the first thing that happened was night one, I woke up in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m, because it felt like someone tapped my shoulder 3 times. And I woke up, looked to the other side of the bed, then remembered that I'm single and I'm sleeping alone and there's no one in bed with me. And I was like, it's my first night in a new house. I'm probably just a bit freaked out in general, and I kind of forgot about it. But then a few nights later, my cat woke me up at 5 a.m, and I'm lying in bed looking at my cat eating his kibble next to my bed. And then the other thing that happened was I was vacuuming. Vacuum switched off by itself, and I checked the cord, checked everything. I didn't pull anything out as I was working. Literally, the switch flipped. Another night, I was sitting outside in my garden, and I've got this metal barbecue thing, and I was sitting next to it. And it made this loud clanging sound as if someone hit it with something metal, like, you know, that metal on metal clang. Weirdly, I was kind of chill about all of this because my house had kind of a nice vibe. Even though these weird things were happening, I didn't feel anything like scary. What did freak me out was one night I had a friend visit. We were sitting outside in the garden and I was telling her about all the stuff that's been happening. She left quite late, like 1 a.m. And just after she left, my cat started freaking out. Like, you know, when cats get scared and they go all Halloween cat,
Yeah.
and they make like these weird, like low sort of moaning sounds. He was doing that, but there was absolutely nothing there. Like he was reacting to air. That scared me because before that, all the things that happened, the cat was super chill. But when I saw my cat freak out just after I told my friend about all these strange things, that scared me. Anyway, I've got a friend who does angel card readings and all kinds of stuff in that world. She did a clearing on my house. I'm not sure what she did, but nothing weird has happened since, thank God. And my cat has been super chill and happy. Anyway, that's my story. Love the podcast. Lots of love from Cape Town.
Oh, thank you, Karen.
Love her accent.
Yeah. And how great is it just to have someone who's like, oh, I'll just bless your house.
Yeah, like I'll fix it
I'll
real
fix
quick.
that.
Not
Yeah.
a problem.
Don't worry about it. I'll come back again in 3 months and do it again just to, you know.
We all need a friend that's willing to do that.
Yeah, we really do.
This next story comes from Alyssa. I'm not sure if you'd consider this paranormal, but it's about skinwalkers.
Ooh.
I never believed in them, but after this, I'm not sure. My sister was 5 at the time when she came running into our house very scared. I asked what had happened, and she said, "Sissy, I'm scared. I saw something, and it was as big as mommy and daddy, and it was fast." I told her it was probably just an animal, but she swore it wasn't. The next day, my mom went outside with Skylar because she wouldn't go out by herself. They both came rushing in soon after, and my mom was freaked out. Mom doesn't believe in the paranormal stuff, but she said, I saw something too. She got my stepdad to check the house and the perimeter, but there was nothing there. After we all calmed down, Mom said, I saw what Skylar was talking about, but it was weird. It was tall and it looked like an animal, but it didn't move like one. It was fast. Then she said it was almost as tall as a person. Whatever it was, we haven't seen it since, but my mom believes in the paranormal now. That should tell you how scared she was. Alyssa.
Did you know you're not supposed to say Skinwalker?
No.
That's like one of the rules, kind of like whistling in your house. You're not actually even supposed to say the word.
Really?
Yeah.
How and when did you find that out?
I saw it on this, I'm on this Astonishing Legends page.
Oh, yeah?
And somebody posted a list about things that you aren't supposed to do, and that was one of them. And I was listening to Morbid recently, and they were also talking about it. But
well, now I need the whole list because I'm pretty sure we have said every single thing that we're not supposed to say.
Oh, yeah. Like,
no wonder your house is haunted. Like, we are recalling them here.
The thing is, I have never believed in skinwalkers.
No, now you get a skinwalker. You get a skinwalker. I'm going to open this up. Everybody get a skinwalker.
But I'm serious. I have always felt, this is going to sound awful, that it was a Native American legend to keep people off of their land. You know, just like, don't come in here and mess with our stuff. You're going to get chased by this really awful thing.
Maybe.
And the stories that I've always heard are always very vague. I saw something running very fast. I heard a voice that wasn't mine in the woods. Like all these, it's just not, it never fleshes out in the way you think it's going to, except this one. I feel like this is the first time where multiple people have seen something that they can't describe that was tall and moving very fast. So yeah, if you do have those types of stories, we'd love to hear them. hauntedafpodcast@gmail.com. This one comes from Matt. Good evening, ladies. I have a weird story involving a girl I briefly dated about 8 years ago. We'd been on a few dates and I eventually brought her back to my place.
Hey.
During certain activities, she kept muttering things that were out of place for what was currently happening.
Wait.
But I thought nothing of it.
I need to know what she was saying.
I know, like what? Like waffles are delicious.
Yeah, like how out of place?
I know, really. When we were done, she sternly said, "Go away."
Oh.
Thinking I'd done something wrong, I said, "Sorry?" And she replied, "No, not you, them." She proceeded to tell me that her deceased ex-boyfriend and the child she had lost follow her wherever she goes. Now, I was alone with this chick, so I was kind of frightened for my life. I don't believe in ghosts, so yeah, I thought she was crazy.
Wait, so he was like, so I finished up. And then got the hell out.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is such a dude thing to do.
Oh, come on. Hang on. Then she told me she sees ghosts everywhere and that she can speak to dead people.
Oh.
In fact, she saw my grandma, who had died about 2 years prior, and asked if she should channel her for me.
No.
My question is, was grandma there watching?
So I had the same thought because
Yeah.
it sounds like everybody she knows and can channel is all just like cheering them on.
They're just like, do
it.
Like, no, don't do that. No. We don't do that. So yeah, at that point she had to go. I politely asked her to leave and totally deleted her number. I guess you could say I ghosted her.
Bravo.
I know, Matt.
Well done.
I don't know whose side I'm on with this. Actually, no, you know what? If you see dead people, you probably shouldn't start talking about it right after you crawl out of the sack. I'm sorry.
Is it wrong that I'm like, can you find her number again and like call her and have her call us?
Yeah, we clearly need to talk to her.
Yeah.
Okay. So this next story comes from Brandy.
Hi, Julie and Rebekah. My name is Brandy. I have listened to your podcast since its inception. I absolutely love it. We were originally from Fort Worth, and we moved to Southwest Florida back in June of 2021. My husband was transferred for his job, and we were living in an apartment while we were looking for a house. And one of the ones that we looked at was over in Venice, Florida, and its best redeeming quality was the fact that it had a canal that led to the Gulf of Mexico. And it had a dock that you could take your kayaks off of and all. And we really wanted to see it because of that. And as we pull up, it's a little sketchy. It's also kind of run down looking from the outside. I'm like, well, maybe the inside's better. So we walk in and I start talking shit about the house. There's so much that needs to be done. So we're walking through and I'm talking about this and that and just saying what I didn't like. And we walk outside to the back and the dock itself is not in great shape. I wouldn't let my daughter walk out on it because I was scared that she would fall through. And the seawall was questionable. And around here for repairing seawalls, it's the owner's responsibility. So I'm just talking about, the amount of money that this would take. And as we're walking back up the backyard, we had left the back door open. And I one more time say something that's about, how much I just didn't like the house itself. And I shit you not, the door slammed in my face as if to say, you don't like me, you don't get in.
Yeah.
My realtor and my daughter were right behind me and my husband was behind them. And they were like, let's go. And 3 grown adults and a 7-year-old little girl hightailed it out of there so fast. I told my husband, I was like, I don't think we can actually ever drive back down the street again because that house hates me now. And I hope you guys have a great week. Thanks.
Was it Mona in season 3 who got scratched?
Yes, because she was talking crap about a house.
Yeah,
like it had a weird basement or something, and they're like, "Oh, we can't even do laundry here." And then
she got scratched.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess the takeaway there is if you have to talk shit about the house, wait until you leave. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we promised to read some of the dream sharing emails to you just because there were so many. We got this one from Taylor. Who says, once I had a wildly vivid dream that I was a female tiger stalking through the undergrowth. I could even feel the grass brushing up against my face. When I woke up, my cat was sleeping fitfully on my chest. I must have been dreaming her dream. And if I was having an animal dream, was she having a human one? Again, this is from Taylor. I love this, Taylor, but the great thing about the shared dreams, you have to be able to confirm it with the other person and share details. But I still like that story.
I do too. It's a sweet thought.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'd like to dream about pooping in a box. What is that like?
Bed? You want to dream about pooping on your bed, Julie? So let's see what that's like.
Oh my God. You remind me. I have a Taika Waititi dream that I have to tell you about.
Hello.
That involves poop.
I don't know if I want to know anymore. Like you had me at the first part, but the second part, I'm out.
Yeah.
All right. So this next story comes from Savannah. So I woke up years ago next to a friend of mine and said I dreamt that we went to a party together. She said she'd had a similar dream, but in her version, I went into the bathroom at the party and didn't come out. That freaked me out because in my dream, I went into the bathroom and came out, but everyone had disappeared. Also, we both described the same scene in our dreams, a dark mansion with vaulted ceilings, a fancy fireplace, ornate pool table, taxidermy, etc. We brushed it off as smoking a little too much reefer. And then I never thought about it again until Julie brought it up. Anyway, thank you both for making me laugh and keeping my spirits up. Much love from Oregon, Savannah.
Oh, thank you, Savannah. So this one's from Nydia. My husband and I shared a dream. We both wake up around 5 a.m. for work. First thing I said to him was, I was having some super weird dreams last night. He said, me too. I dreamt that people were trying to break into the house. I stopped him and asked how many people. He said 3. And I said, was it 2 men and 1 woman? And he said, yeah, how'd you know?
Ooh.
And I said, because I was dreaming that 2 guys and 1 girl were trying to break into the house. And when they couldn't get in, then he cut me off and said, they went to the car and broke into that.
No.
And I said, yes.
Awesome.
I know. And again, that's from Nydia. And I wrote her back and I'm like, well, was somebody breaking into your car?
Like in real life?
Yeah. And she hasn't written me back.
Oh my gosh.
So Nydia, come on, get back in touch.
Yeah. This next story comes from Amanda. She says, hey girls, you know what goes here in the beginning about loving your show. So I'm gonna move on.
But it's okay. We totally love it if you want to say nice things.
Exactly. It makes us feel good. I've worked at schools, medical centers, and theaters, but the only place I've had a paranormal experience is when I worked at Little Caesars in a corner strip mall. As far as I know, it was just an empty lot before becoming a shopping area. I was 16 and it was my first real job. I did everything from making dough in the morning to closing up at night. It was a fun place to work and I have a lot of good memories from that time. But that's not what you ask for, right?
Right.
I remember seeing people walk behind me who weren't there in reality. My coworkers also saw figures walk behind them who they said looked like me.
Ooh.
One time I walked out of the walk-in freezer with a huge tray of dough. I turned the corner and saw a man dressed in Civil War era clothing. He wasn't a soldier. He was just a well-dressed man. I did a double take and he was gone. The last thing I can't explain happened all the time when I was saucing and cheesing the pizzas. That's the best part of the job.
Yeah.
There was a wall directly to my right, and on the other side of the wall were the ovens and the cutting station. Beyond that was the cash register and the lobby. Without fail, I'd see out of my peripheral vision the lobby in bright yellow sunshine. It would be filled with people and balloons as if it were a birthday party. It was so real, I'd look around the wall and check the lobby for guests. As usual, it would be dark and empty. I repeat, I had to look around the wall to see the lobby, but out of my peripheral, I could see it clearly. Nobody ever had birthday parties in our lobby. It wasn't that kind of restaurant. Maybe I was seeing into a different dimension, but I'm glad it was the birthday party dimension and not the demon one.
Yeah.
As far as I know, nobody ever saw what I saw. There's a Vietnamese restaurant there now. I never had the guts to ask if they'd seen anything paranormal.
The thing that's so cool about this is how when she's seeing it out of the periphery, but there's actually a wall there. So almost like something that happened before the wall was there, maybe.
Right. Like maybe it was all open at one point and
Right.
was a venue for that type of place.
Right. I wrote her back
Yeah.
and asked the name of the Vietnamese restaurant.
Sure.
So I called them. I was going to surprise you. I was hoping I could call them and get information, and they never answered, but they are open and they allegedly have fantastic pho.
Oh, okay.
So, or pho, however you
I
say.
don't know how to say it either.
It's supposed
Thank
to be-
goodness I'm not the only one.
No, it's
pho, right?
Pho, yeah, but I always feel like a dumbass when I say that. So anyhow, we're going to try calling them again and just to see if anybody else had an experience there. So Amanda, did you ever ask your coworkers if, well, they must have seen something because
Yeah.
they said that they would see her when she wasn't there. So,
So now I'm like, okay, well, is it glitch in the matrix? And this is like,
ooh, yeah. Because if you've got this, like she said, she felt like she was looking into another dimension.
yeah.
And one of those things, again, where you can see it out of the corner of your eye, but not
then
when you look
not-
directly at it.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, so we're going to have to spend a little bit more time with that one. So this next story, we actually shared this audio on our social medias. It's from Lupita, who reached out through TikTok.
Hey ladies, I'm Lupita. I'm from Compton, California, and I'm a new listener. I came across your podcast on my TikTok For You page, which then led me to send you my own screen recording of my sleep tracking app that caught a very creepy voice as I was asleep. This bedroom in this house, I've lived here all my life, has been kind of, the spot. I'm the youngest of 7, and I'm positive that each of my siblings have a story to tell about that. My parents actually had experiences that started with the footsteps starting at the front door, walking through our living room and into the very short hallway where the bedrooms are right next to each other, and stopping in front of that bedroom door. And then the doorknob would jiggle, but then it would go dead silent after that. I've had my very first experience in that room. I was in 7th grade, and I used to go to sleep with the radio on. And this night I decided to leave it off up until I started hearing someone breathing behind me. I would turn on the radio, and then I turned on my TV, and every time I did something to muffle the sound of the breathing, it would get closer and closer up until it was right in my ear, and I can feel it moving the hair that was tucked behind my ear. needless to say, I ran to my parents' room right next door, and my dad found nothing when he came in to check. The room is very small, so there's really nowhere to hide. Before this recording took place, there was a time where I would be in bed falling asleep, and I would hear my name being called. Like I would hear different voices, male, female, adults. It would just call my name. But this recording is 10 times creepier than that, because I was in my most vulnerable state, asleep. And I share a room with, my 2 daughters. They're 10 and 7. And clearly the voice that comes through is male, and there's no male in this house anymore. My brother's moved out and married, and my dad passed away 12 years ago. We don't sleep with the windows open, so there's no way anyone could be standing outside our window whispering sweet nothings. So I really have no explanation for the male voice. It's very clear what the one part that I can make out that says the woman always flies. But what it says before and after that, I can't quite make out. So if you guys have any thoughts, if you guys can hear something that I can't, I would love to hear it. Even the listeners have any input, I would love that. There's a lot more experiences that happen in this house, but that one's the one that really gave me the chills to this day. And this was just back in August of 2021 when this happened. So tell me what you guys think.
Okay. Thank you, Lepita. So first I'm going to play the audio that Lepita sent to us. There's 2 parts to it. There's first real-time audio, and then she slows it down a little bit. So
I'm like legit kind of scared. Like, this is a good one.
Okay. Hang on. Here we go. Okay, what I feel like all I hear is woman always flies. I can't make out what he is saying before that, but it sounds like he repeats it again. Always flies.
I don't want to know. I really don't, because that voice sounds super creepy.
Well, get ready. So
I'm going to do it again.
I've enhanced it. It's extra loud this time. Okay. So just listen carefully, because again, I cannot make this out. So yesterday I was listening to that over and over again, turned way up, and I had my hands on my headphones and my eyes closed, really focusing on it. And I opened my eyes, and my damn cat had jumped up on the desk. It was literally nose to nose looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing, woman?
That's awesome.
I literally
Did you scream?
No, but I almost lost all bodily functions.
Okay, so I could definitely hear the always flies that round.
Yes. So I can't even hear woman in this one the way I can. Do you want me to play the blue one again?
Okay, hold on. I feel like he says something and then there's a moan.
Well, that's her.
Yeah. So
that's her.
Do you think that she's actually hearing that in real time?
Yes, she believes that she's responding to the voice.
What if it is telling her to do something?
I don't know. See, that's multiple theories that I have here. That she's been hacked, that it's a Manchurian Candidate thing.
Right?
Where it's
subliminal messages or something?
Right. Where she's becoming the Winter Soldier at this point.
Oh my God.
He's whispering all the things.
Yeah. Oh my God, who's she going to kill next?
So here's the other thing. The voice reminds me of other voices we've heard here before.
Sure.
The whispery male voice. Do you remember the white bananas?
Sounds like James Spader to me.
Yes.
It does. You hear it, right?
Yes.
It sounds like James Spader.
It's a very intense male voice actor.
Eye contact with her while she's asleep. Yeah. I don't know, but yes, to me, that's what I got.
Always flies.
And that's something you freaking say because she's a freaking weirdo.
What a weird thing to say. Oh, Lupita, I wish we had an answer for you.
We do not.
Maybe it's one of those picking up weird transmissions
from
between
else.
Spies and this secret language.
What if it's just a kid's walkie-talkie that dad's messing with?
It could be that. I mean, there are so many things it could be. But yeah, Lupita, that's definitely a voice in your room. I wish I could tell you what that was.
Maybe do a little research on that app that you're using.
The one thing that people say, because we did post this on TikTok and people were saying you've been hacked. You've just been hacked. And that is kind of an automatic thing. But when you've had all this continued activity in the house, it does make you wonder. For the road, let's do it one more time. Oh, that's just icky. Get out of her room. Whoever that is, stop it.
Like, yeah, really.
Cut it out.
But if you want to go hear that a few more dozen times,
yeah,
find it in the companion blog, hauntedafp.com. That's episode 10, season 7. Let us know what you think, what you hear. I don't know. Maybe if it's telling you to do something.
Don't listen at night. We had multiple people who listened on social media and they were like, oh, why'd you do that to me?
Terrible idea. By the way, Stuart and JB, the roommates that we've been talking about in their haunted house, they actually had their first paranormal team this past weekend. So hopefully we're going to get some details on that. So stay tuned.
Also next week, there have been lots of postings on my next door, on my actual neighborhood next door about unidentified flying objects. One guy's even got a video. So we're going to share that. And listen, guys, we only have 3 more episodes of season 7. This is all going to come to a close on April 28th. So we need those stories. We've been getting lots of emails from people lately who are like, hey, I had something spooky happen in a library. Call me and I'll tell you about it. So unfortunately, we don't call to do interviews anymore. So what you do is you have to send the story first. And if we feel like there's a need for a follow-up, then yes, we will give you a call then. I was
going to say, maybe if your story is that good, then we'll call you.
Well, we've done that. You know, we definitely were like, dude, we got to call you.
Right.
Plus, it's really easy to send your stuff to us, okay? You can write it down, use a voice recording app. You can film yourself doing it. But whatever it is, get that spooky stuff to us at hauntedafpodcast@gmail.com so we can use it in season 7 of Haunted AF.